I would like to call upon Dr. 𝐊𝐵𝗲 ma'am, Principal, Southern Point School, Nagpur, and the last panelist I want to call upon Mr. Avinash Kulkarni sir, Vice Principal, Bharati Public School, Navi, Mumbai. So you all are in this panel, and I request Dr. 𝗍𝐸 to just introduce the moderator of this panel, Mrs. Neeru Kapai ma'am.
First of all, thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us and for giving your precious time. Neeru ma'am is the founder, president of J.K. Education Society, founder, principal of 𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐿's Kindergarten and Modern School, founder and director of 𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐿's Kindergarten, Modern School and NACRT, her very own counseling firm where she is also a consulting psychologist. She is an able leader and an administrator and academician, a trained and passionate psychologist and a counselor. Ma'am is indeed an educationist of repute par excellence. She is also a trained and a certified resource person by CBSE and has been conducting many more workshops on various topics. She has received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the International Principal Education Conference 2019 at the hands of �શ્રી𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐵𝗲. Now, I would request Mr. Mandir Khurana to come on the stage and welcome Neeru ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Now, stage is all yours, and looking forward for the wonderful session with you and a knowledgeable session. Hope if anybody will be having any query related to the topic, you can write down a slip and the concerned person will collect from your seat. Thank you. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Welcome to all the August gathering. Very restless. Their behavior, if you all must have noticed, they have started losing their temper very fast. They have become very aggressive. Now the reason is that uncertainty in the environment is giving stress to them. Stress in their life is creating a lot of anxiety into them, and anxiety is taking turn of aggression in their behavior and depression. So our students overall, though they do not deserve, but are undergoing these psychological changes. Now the question is whether we all need to focus on NEP or we focus on the overall development or the safety and security of our students. Both the things have to be handled at the same time. And at this stage is my personal request, teachers and the management and the principals not to give up hope, not to lose your heart, because teaching community should never ever underestimate their potential. Because teachers are the one who can either make or who can break a child. I do not know in which category do you put yourself. But the teacher is so powerful that she can either make or break a child. So keeping that confidence in mind, that we all need to understand the real techniques of new education policy and focus on that, find out the solution so that the entire education policy can be made and implemented effectively. We proceed on to the next question. As far as the aim of NEP is concerned, NEP wants to focus on inclusive education and excellence. Not to focus anything on rote memory. Not to focus anything on, ma'am, we have completed our portion. Portion completion is not and any longer the aim of education policy. The policy wants to focus on inclusion, that it is a right of every individual to have education. And then the content is important but delivering the content in an excellent way is also equally important. So we need to understand this from that angle also. Another question, according to you, what is the transition that the institutions need to do in order to implement NEP effectively? What are the transitions, what are the changes, what are the strategies to be kept in mind if we have to implement NEP effectively?
Thank you, madam. So rightly the chief guest and also the another guest also pointed out about values that we need to focus as so far as the NEP 2020 is concerned. Suppose if you see, actually previous time when I was the school child, we had a period called moral period. Now I don't know where it has gone. No school is having the moral periods. All it has gone to computer science, art, GK, like that. So, but now the total education needs deserving value education. If you see if you turn the pages of, you need not fix a new curriculum, either in the CBSE or state board or any international curriculum. Totally, globally, now the students, they need value education. They are they are deserving that. If you see the pages of epics, Indian epics, Mahabharata, Ramayana, each and every character is created by the writers or the forefathers for a lesson to learn. You see, the simple thing, talk sweetly, don't hurt by words or else, and talk straightforward, talk truth. These are all, if you see the incidents, the characters created in Ramayana. Dasarada asked Rama, you please go to so he has not given the permission to rule the country, but he has given the permission to another son, Bharata. But immediately he got annoyed and Rama started going to the forest, 14 years with his brother, Lakshmana. That Bharata told, ruling the country was given, the right was given to another son. Then he went to the forest. There he started, if you see all the dialogues in the history or the literature, you can read. So Bharata started accusing the father. But Rama told, no, don't accuse the father, my father, our father. Because nowhere he used the word which hurted me, which hurt me. No. Please use the sweet words. Always he brought up like that. So this lesson, what to talk, how to talk, with whom to talk, what words we have to use. These are all picturized in the epics. Not only in Hindu epics, even if you see the Bible also, Quran also. A good lesson was given that David, an 8-year-old boy, he learned the music to be a shepherd in the forest, to take care of the animals. For that he used to play the musical instrument. But one day, the king of the town or the country, he happened to visit the forest. There he heard the music. Immediately he ordered his servants, who is playing the music, please bring that boy. Then the boy was brought, 8-year-old boy. Then he told, okay, you start playing. Then he started playing. Then he asked his servants, you please bring the boy to my palace. Then he was brought to that. See, first he was started playing his instrument only to take care of his animals. But he never expected that it will happen to play the music in presence of the king or before the court or in the courts. So the same. Of course, now we seem to be ordinary teachers or the principals of a small school, but the fate of the country is in our hand. How we are creating the children within the four walls in the classroom, it matters. Then finally he told, and he took till the evening that David, he started playing the music. Then the evening the king told, okay, you can go. Then he was so happy. In between, the soldier came, when the servant came, he told the king, sir, now the country is surrounded by all the enemies. now they will take care. Then we will be destroyed. Then immediately, because the king was in a good mood, he told, nothing, do one thing, you call all the the elder people of the family to take part in the battle. And what is going on in the Ukrainian now. The same thing happened in the epics also. But the small boy, 8-year-old boy, he had 7 elder brothers. Then he was worrying, but he immediately rushed to his home. There he found all the 7 brothers were taken to the battlefield. Then he asked his father, Papa, can I go and see the battle? Then he told, no, it is not allowed for the small boys, it is for the elderly people. So you did not go, you should not go. No, I am not going to take part in the battle, but let me go and see what is going on. This is how you people are saying, how I was sitting and listening the guest speaker's speech. It will inspire me. It will inspire us somewhere. It will make miracles in our life. The same thing happened. Then immediately he told, okay, if you want to see the battle, you go, but it is not allowed. Still, if you want, you can go. Then he went to the battle. There also he asked, he saw the commandant. He asked, he approached, but there he found 25 feet Goliath, a demon. And he is telling, and he is challenging, and he is killing, eating everybody, destroying all the people. Then the small boy asked that commander, sir, can I go and attack that man? Then he started laughing. How? You are a small boy, how you will go and attack? No sir, I have a tool with me, 𝐷𝐴𝐴. I don't know how to say in Hindi. I used to play. I used to play to attack the small birds. Oh, yeah. Then he was telling, I have the tool, I have the weapon. Then the commander, the chief asked the captain, show me your tool. Then he showed, and he started laughing. This is only to attack only birds. Then he told, no, I used to attack lions, tigers, those who are coming and attacking my goats. Please allow me, I will attack him. I will make him to fall down. Then he said, okay, you do. Immediately he know the tactics. Then he aimed the forehead of the right hand side. Always if it is attacked this side, so the person will lose conscious. The same thing happened with the Goliath. Then everybody started running away. But this small boy again started going again towards him only. Again everybody is asking, how you are going that near the demon? Please don't go. Because still we do not know whether he is no more or not. But still he went and he told, no, because I have my tool with him, I should go and take back. Because a good fighter will not leave the tool on the battlefield. As per the ethics, as per the literature, what we have learned. Then the same thing he told. Then he went, and when he picked up the small stone from the forehead of that demon, then he started getting conscious and he started giving the big breath. Then the boy immediately he got down from the forehead and he come back to the hip and he took the sword and immediately he cut the throat. This is the lesson. This is the story. Even the same thing is even picturized even in Quran also, but with a different name. So why it is there? Because there is a lesson is there. So India is rich. I am not telling this. In 1835, there was a WhatsApp message circulated many of the educators and teachers in India. There is one British lord
Happening here in this auditorium. Our chief guest, Dr. Abdullah Rashid Ahmed, Minister of State for Education, Ministry of Education, Republic of Maldives, the organizers of Time2Grow, and dear friends. We are sitting here for a very, very important topic to be discussed, to be understood, to be comprehended, and make an attempt and effort to implement it. All the speakers in the morning deserve a very special thanks from me for making my life very, very easy. Thank you so much for being so very understanding. Whatever we have discussed during the day, we all understand that and we realize the value and importance of that, and it's a fact. So all the important points contributed by the speakers were very well appreciated and very well taken. Today I'm so very fortunate to have prominent, eminent colleagues of mine who will be talking to all of us or sharing with us the importance of NEP or the topic given to us for this afternoon is that are the institutions ready for the NEP implementation? And dear friends, I'm fortunate to have Mr. Sammy, Senior Principal, Sahakar Vidya Mandir School, Buldana, on my right hand side. Dr. 𝐃𝐚𝐬𝐢𝐤𝐚, Principal, South Point School, on the left, and the extreme left is Mr. 𝐊𝐚𝐩𝐚𝐸𝐿 Kulkarni, Vice Principal, Bharati Public School, Mumbai. It's a wonderful opportunity. It's my humble request to all the panelists that initially the procedure is going to be that one-line introduction of yourself, and each panelist is going to give their opinion for a minute on first two questions, so that the concept of NEP implementation becomes clear to all. So my first question to all of them, maybe we'll start with the senior most colleague of mine. First question is talking about, can you in brief highlight what exactly is NEP or the aim of NEP? Sir, request to you. 1 minute. You can be comfortable there.
Warm greetings to all of you. My name is Alagar Swami. I am the Senior Principal of Sahakar Vidya Mandir, an establishment promoted by Buldana Urban Cooperatives. I am from Buldana. I am associated with the school for the last 14-15 years. And I must be thankful to the organization and for the wonderful platform they have made for the discussion. And it's a burning topic, and the rest of the world is looking towards India, how we are going to implement the program. It's the biggest question. Now, as Madam asked, to highlight the NEP. So one of the prime objectives of NEP 2020 is the improvement of learning outcomes. Creating focus on early childhood education under 5+3+3+4. Structure and a 3-tiered instructional architecture in the higher education segment. Research and teaching focuses and autonomous degree granting colleges with a strong employability focus are welcome features of the NEP 2020. But almost 50% of the children in India are currently enrolled in private schools. The central and the state governments need to partner with the private schools to attain the aims and objectives of the NEP 2020. India has around 260 million school-going children at present. This is a brief introduction about NEP.
Yeah, come. Thank you so much. 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐿𝐴 ma'am, could you just give your opinion?
First of all, a very thank you to Manpreet sir, Dr. Shashi ma'am and to Kanika ma'am for introducing me to this very nice education summit that we are having in Nagpur this morning. About the NEP Act, the National Educational Policy 2020, it has very high goals. 2035 would be seeing India as the Vishwa Guru. And there are many highlights of this policy, as Sir has rightly said. The main focus would be, what I feel is that how we implement this act. That is going to change what 2035 would see India as. Because how we implement is going to be the thing. When I was reading about the NEP and when I in detail read about it yesterday, day before yesterday, when I had to come over here, because as our keynote speaker had rightly said, learning and then teaching. So I felt the word learn. Everywhere we are using the word learn. Teaching and learning, teaching and learning. And this NEP has focused on creative thinking, not rote learning, memorizing. But I suddenly remembered that as a teacher, as a principal, the most frequently used sentence in a class is, "Arey bachcho, learn karo. Chalo learn karo, baitho learn karo." And what do we mean by this word? The meaning of word learn as per the dictionary is to understand something, to gain some extra knowledge, to gain some extra skill. But when we as teachers are using the word "Arey learn karo," what do we mean by that? We mean memorize karo. So first of all, this mindset has to change. This has to change, and then that NEP would be implemented. But I congratulate the government for coming up with this policy, and I hope it empowers us teachers so that we can really bring our India into that 2035 becoming the Vishwa Guru that we are really destined to be. Thank you.
Sir, your turn.
Good morning and thank you to all dignitaries and educationists present here. I am Mr. 𝐊𝐚𝐩𝐚𝐬𝐿, a Vice Principal at Bharati Public School, Navi, Mumbai. Over 2 decades plus years of my service in education. I am a resource person for the 𝐃𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐤𝐚. As NEP is very important for all of us because we are catering to the needs of the students in the school education system. The main focus, if you see the NEP is having 5 pillars. One is the equity, then the access, then affordability, equity, and quality. So these 5 pillars are built in the foundation of Indian ethos and culture, and that to become a global citizen. I feel that NEP has to be understood as a school leader in such a way that how we can create a vibrant knowledge society where we can nurture our children to be a global citizen. That is the core concept of NEP, and there are so many guidelines coming up, and we will be happy to implement in next whatever the questions, answers, sessions are there. We will come up with the areas where we actually implement. What is the area to implement? How do we progress the implementation part? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Such a wonderful switchover or a thought process. Now, COVID-19 came as a game changer. We all have suffered a lot, but at the same time, we did learn a lot from COVID-19. During that time only, the NEP was introduced. Look at the tragedy. How much to expect from the teachers, whether to handle COVID-19 situation or to understand and comprehend new education policy. So the future has become full of challenges. Now when the environment is full of challenges, then lot of thinking, lot of planning, and lot of comprehension has to undergo, and which as a single individual it is not possible for anyone to do it. Then another difficult situation which we all educationists are facing today is that COVID-19 has left tremendous amount of psychological impact on our children. Our students remaining in the house for 2 years have completely lost self-esteem. They have completely lost the confidence to do anything. Uncertainty of the future, uncertainty about their education, uncertainty about their academics, and fear of losing the dear ones. Lot of fear of the parents losing their livelihood. All these things have created a very peculiar kind of a fear psychosis and have made our children
Historian. And he told...
I'll come back to you later. Just give me 1 minute. Ma'am, your opinion on this? I'll get back.
How do we implement this NEP in the school? Now, considering that our students would be coming back to school after 2 years, and we as principals, this is the point of time when we start thinking about our next session. We start thinking about our strategies and our game plans and the roadmaps about the next session. And I, being one of the panelists, should be having answers, but I do not have answers. I have only questions with me. And the very first question is that, like sir rightly said, that spirituality is one of the pillars of this NEP, and we need to have these moral values for our students. And it is a catch-22 situation wherein we do have moral science periods in our school, value education period, and then at the end of the year we have assessment value education test. आज आपकी oral से value education पे. And the moment assessment comes into the situation, I as a student would be learning only for my 20 marks which I get on my orals, and the teacher as a teacher would be only teaching the students so that he or she gets that 20 marks. So where does that leaves that moral education? I don't know. And then comes the another question to me, that I need to teach my students creativity and critical thinking. And then I come to the point that, okay, this means that my child should understand what is being taught. And then I again catch-22 assessment, and how do I assess my child upon it? And then I suddenly think that after 2 years my child is coming and he is not able to read. He's not able to do the basic maths. So where do I concentrate? On creativity, on reading, on critical thinking? And I, being one of the panelists, I should be giving you answers, but there are only questions in my head, that how do we implement it? So I think let us start from the bottom. Let us first come out of that mindset to memorize, and then bring that understanding part into it. If the child is able to understand, I think he will be able to think, and then our assessment should also be about how the child thinks on that concept. If the child is able to think rather than just vomit whatever he has learned, I think we would be moving a step ahead while implementing this NEP. I am
thank you, ma'am. Your small questions. The focus of NEP and the beauty of NEP is integrated teaching learning. Moral science or creativity or your critical thinking can never ever be taught in watertight compartments. They are all linked in life. We learn every day, we will keep improving every day. We need to be focusing on what we are learning and how well we can implement and bring into practice what we have learned. Learning is not to be just mugged up thing and not to be applied again. Your learning needs to be application based. So these small queries of fixing up a model science period or social science or the value education, it can never be done in watertight compartments. And the focus of NEP, actually I don't blame Rasika ma'am. State board for the time being probably has not come out with a module. I'm not very sure, but I'm proud to say here that CBSE has come out with proper full manual on NEP, what all they are planning, what all they are focusing. I'm sure majority of us must have gone through NEP at least once, and people who are a little more passionate and serious about it may have gone through certain portions of it in a very, very detailed way. So we all have to understand that, and we all have to find out the ways and means to implement it. Sir, I would love to have your opinion and then talk about it.
So are we ready for implementation of NEP 2020? That was the question raised. We were ready for adopting the COVID situation. Any institution were not ready to adopt it, but it is adopted, successfully completed 2 years of teaching without having any trainings, without having any such situations. The school as an institution, I feel that ever ready for every challenges. We as an educator, we are educating children. We have a robust planning of what is to be done, what is to be right, what is to be wrong. When we sit together, we understand the need of the school, the need of the children. As the year is about to start, we might be having a yearly planning. As we are coming out from COVID to the normal era, there is nothing normal as such, every instant is normal. But new normal is the title we used to have. But it is not a new normal, it is a normal situation for all of us. And we do follow what we thought of having the best institution. How do we feel ourselves to give our learning experiences to the children where children feel safety, secure? How children can have the mental well-being. So, value-based education or academic, curricular, co-curricular activities has to be planned before in advance so that we will be ready for the implementation. NEP is nothing new. We are having hardly 20% raise in the way in which the 21st century demands are there. And I feel that every institution is ready to accept this challenge, and I am thoroughly for all the institutions to work out the planning and adopt it. Thank you.
Sir, which is the most important thing which you, according to you, should be taken care of as far as following NEP is concerned?
As the NEP is nothing new, as I said, and lot of changes in the education ecosystem is happening because of NEP. The most important thing which I feel is the rigorous planning. As many of the principals attended the pedagogical planning workshops, which says the 5 questions to be answered. Where we are now, that is the first question. We do analyze ourselves as an institution, where we are standing. What is our role? What is our vision? What is our mission? What is our progress curve? What will be the learning curve? What are all the learning situations we can create? So we just understand ourselves where we are. Once we understand, then where you want to go. Make a timeline. Within 6 months I will achieve this goal. Maybe next 6 months I will be achieving this goal. Then we plan what way we can achieve it. Who are responsible and what will be the target. So if I feel that a planning, rigorous planning is an important aspect of NEP, though NEP is very new for us, there are many changes to be happen, but if we are planning thoroughly, understanding the core area of NEP, I feel it is nothing difficult for us.
Thank you so much. I do agree with this particular point, And to take it forward, I feel one sir is mentioning about planning. Under planning, we really have to think about who is going to take the baton ahead, and nobody else except our teachers. So the management definitely has to keep in mind about teachers training, workshops, seminars, their orientation programs, because if our teachers understand NEP thoroughly, they'll be able to take the entire thing forward in a very effective way. So as far as the principals and the management groups are concerned, it is their moral responsibility to provide the right kind of an infrastructure which is required for new education policy. That is the kind of a support which should come from management, and teachers training programs should be done more frequently. Here again I'm sharing with you that CBSE since last 1 year is paying lot of attention to the teachers training program, and they have number of portals through which you can log in and learn a lot. And I think, if I'm not wrong, it is every year teacher has to undergo training for 50 hours, and CBSE has very meticulously planned these workshops, which in the long run is definitely bound to help our teacher community. At the fag end of it, I've got a note. I know we are all running short of time, but I need to thank the colleagues, but how I would like to conclude is that everything is possible. NEP has come out with wonderful points. It will all depend now how people implement it. Implementation is going to matter a lot, and for proper implementation, what is required? Management needs to give support. Teachers need to undertake a lot of training to pass on the learning process effectively. And the most important part is the change of the mindset. Why I'm saying change of mindset? NEP is not a problem, but a issue. So we cannot do anything till the time we don't accept. We need to accept NEP as a problem. We need to focus on the problem, and by focusing on the problem, we amongst ourselves have to find out the solutions to the problem. And what is the most important solution? The most important solution today is the change of mindset. Change of mindset of management, of parents, of teachers and students. They have no choice except to accept that hence onwards is going to be a blended learning, offline, combination of online and offline. Mindset of the parents that we need to develop our children, we need to focus on the 21st century skills. I'm not talking about the 10 life skills which are mentioned by WHO. In addition to that, we as teachers and parents need to develop the skill of flexibility, the skill of decision making, the skill of adaptability, so that our children, whatever decision they take, they should be accountable and responsible for their decision. Children must be trained to be responsible for their decision in terms of their academics, in terms of their behavior. Time has gone where children have been saying कि मैम ये तो मम्मी ने कहा था ऐसा करने के लिए, मैम पापा से कोई बात नहीं आज स्कूल ले जाओ, एप्लीकेशन भिजवा देंगे sick leave के लिए. No. Now in the current scenario, none of these excuses should be accepted. Children need to be taking the onus of their responsibility. And mindset in terms of parents. Parents are in a very confused state. They have started interpreting not coming to school or online schooling means they can keep the children at home and teach them. Wonderful idea, home tutoring. But there is no substitute for school. There will never be a substitute for school and for the teachers. So parents need to understand. And if at all they are going in for homeschooling, then parents need to be taking the responsibility of teaching the child what to do, how to do, what not to do. Because these are the things which are very important for children to know. And another concept which most of the parents are having these days is that by making payments or by spending money for the children, they are probably thinking that money spent on them is the evidence of their love flowing for them. That concept needs to be changed. They should be more practical and they should focus on the real inner quality in terms of spirituality, in terms of values, and because I know for sure that children learn by observing teachers, observing their parents, observing their family members, they learn a lot. So switching off the focus and keeping everything in mind that whatever is being taught, even my teachers should not think that completing the curriculum is the end of it. Nobody should go and report to the principal, ma'am, our portion is completed. It is not the completion of portion. It is how much has your child understood, comprehended, and how much is your child ready to implement that in life. So I think it's important for all of us to understand the basic content of NEP. We still need to read a lot, and let me tell you, you have only seen the top of the iceberg. CBSE at their own level are still dwindling. Assessment kaisa karna hai. Minute instructions have still not come. So don't take and jump into any conclusion, but one thing is clear, that NEP is going to be there. You have to follow it, but wait and watch policy so that you get very clear instructions from CBSE how to move about. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing the dais with us. And thanks again to the management for giving us an opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session. I am sure it was the very knowledgeable session. Now, please be seated here. I would request 𝐊𝐴𝐻𝐻𝐿 sir, Director 𝐾𝐚𝐬𝐤𝐚, to come on the dais and please honor the speakers. Sir, please. Thank you so much. Neeru ma'am, please be seated there. Yes, Neeru ma'am, please be seated here. Rest of them, thank you so much. I request Dr. Abdullah sir to come on the stage and please honor Neeru ma'am. As I already stated that Neeru ma'am is the renowned personality in Nagpur as an educationist, and she inspired a lot of educationists. Wonderful work in the field of education she has done. I request Mandir sir to come on the stage with Abdullah sir.